Hello, everyone out there. You're tuning into the 4th episode of the Sidelines Sports Podcast with Sports Management Laurier. As always, I'm Liam. You're here with myself, Evan, and Haley. We're excited because we're finally done exams, which is amazing. I think Haley's done too, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Haley's
I was done a while ago.
Okay. So yes, we're all finally done exams now, which is really great. We went through a little sorry, I have a chip in my throat. We went through a little grueling exam period, midterm wise this year, so it's happy to be done that.
Brutal 3 weeks.
That being said, we have a nice little celebration tonight for SML, which will be a lot of fun.
Very excited.
Team social, so we're all drinking water right now, getting ready for that.
Yeah.
But we're also going to bring you the newest headlines in sports from the past week. So, we'll get going.
Yeah, kick it off with the NFL as usual. Pretty exciting weekend for football. Starting with, I guess, last Thursday night with a huge blowout win in Pittsburgh. Steelers beat the Carolina Panthers 52-21. Just an absolute implosion on the part of the Panthers. I didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be a much closer game just because Carolina's got...
defending Cam last week?
Oh, I'm so into Cam, and I still ride for this team, to be honest. Like, I still think they're a Super Bowl contender, but they got smoked. Like, I think, to be honest, like, that's not a good representation of how good of a team they are, and it was just wrong place, wrong time, I think.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at the Steelers, like, just because of that offense and, like, the weapons they have, like, they can explode for 52 points on you in a given night, right? So I'm not too worried Panthers, but definitely a wake up for them for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Another blowout was Tennessee, New England.
Oh, that was a big upset. I was not expecting that.
Well, considering how Tennessee's been doing so poorly this year, like they're literally 5-4. New England they're 7-3 now, but only lost 2 games going into that. Like, I didn't see that. It's not even like it was a close game. Like the Rams Seattle game, like that was a close game. Like that was a good game to watch. That was just like, yikes.
I mean, they got that big Monday Night Football win against Dallas last week, so short. A bit, not that much shorter, but obviously a day less to prepare for. I mean, the New England Patriots, who are, one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
So definitely a statement win for the Titans. They just I don't understand. I feel like they find a way to beat some good teams and then they just lose to really bad teams. I don't get it.
That's how I feel about Seattle. But yeah, looking at their last couple of games, they beat New England, they beat Dallas. They lost to the Chargers. It was a 1-point game, but still. Mm-hmm. They lost 21-0 to Baltimore. They lost to the Bills. October was a terrible month for them, and now they're out here beating the Cowboys and the Patriots. So,
Speaking of Buffalo, they finally won another game.
Yeah.
41-10 win against the Jets on Sunday. I honestly thought the Jets would beat them Sunday game at home.
I stand by my Sam Darnold statements.
Oh, I do as well. I totally I still think he's the real deal. But I mean, first year quarterback, it's tough, right? So
yeah, no, for sure. But that's brutal. The Browns also a game.
Yes, and did you see Baker's amazing interview after the game?
I saw this.
I just woke up feeling dangerous. That was unreal. That was such just a baller move.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I kind of like it a bit better if they're a winning team, but that was hilarious. I like that a lot by Baker.
Yeah, no, that was good. Oakland continues to be the worst team in the NFL.
Let's steer away from that topic.
20-6 to the Chargers.
Yeah. Chargers are a good team.
They are good. They're pretty underrated.
Oakland. All we can say about Oakland is they're building for Vegas. That's what's going on.
Which is also an unfortunate.
Yeah. Also,
It is also just not.
Just everything's kind of not going too well. But yeah, Indy beats Jacksonville. Jacksonville is another team that kind of just continues to stink up the place. They're just kind of
Blake Bortles has not shown up this year.
The boat.
Blake Bortles.
He got benched a few weeks ago.
Even the defense, though, even the defense just is not the same this year. I don't know what's going on. Jalen Ramsey was talking a lot of trash this year about they're going to the Super Bowl. Not this year, guys.
He was also talking trash about how he could play hockey and just
that was hilarious. I did not that's so.
There's no way. There's no way.
No.
Zero chance. I wonder if he even knows how to skate.
Yeah, that's the thing. Can he skate?
Yeah.
Because like realistically, unless you grow up like in like the Northeast in the U.S. and like obviously some of the Midwest states, like they play a lot of hockey, but like probably not going to skate, right? No. So yeah, I don't know where he grew up, but yeah, that was wild. I can believe that. But yeah,
he grew up in Tennessee.
So probably no skating.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, good old Jalen. Haven't heard much out of his mouth recently.
No.
He's been silenced.
No.
The Rams continue to roll.
Same with the Saints.
They're rocking. Oh my gosh, let's talk about that game first. 51-14 against the Bengals. People thought this game was going to be close. This was blowout city in Cincinnati. Cincinnati just sucks. I don't like that. I just don't like the franchise.
No.
Like that. They got to get rid of Marvin Lewis. Like I'm not a big Andy Dalton guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they need to replace Dalton with somebody.
Yeah, like I
don't think he's a franchise QB at all.
No.
I just don't even like that organization. Cincinnati, just yuck. Yeah. They got smoked.
Yeah, that was brutal. Like we knew the Saints were a good team.
Yeah.
But
the Saints are a great team right now.
They're my Super Bowl picks.
But yeah, the Rams beat the Seahawks 36-31. Another tight game. Like you said, like I feel like the Seahawks. Like they play like a lot of good teams like really well.
They do.
I don't know what it is. Like
yeah, I don't know. They can't squeeze out those wins anymore. But like they're in the game. You know, it's not like a like,
yeah.
The Pats lost by more to Tennessee than Seattle did to the Rams. Like Seattle's a good team.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Seattle. Like I thought they were gonna be a lot worse this year. They're actually playing pretty good football.
Well, yeah, they didn't even make the playoffs last year. Like they're definitely on a decline. But
yeah, unfortunately for the Rams, Cooper Kupp. It was confirmed this morning that he tore his ACL. He's going to be out for the rest of the season, which is a big hit for one of Jared Goff's favorite targets, and now he's unfortunately going to be out for the rest of the season.
Yikes.
ACL is not a fun one, as we know with our boy Jimmy G.
Yes.
In game.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish him a speedy recovery, and
fourth quarter.
We'll see you next year, bud. Unfortunately.
See you next year, buddy.
Unfortunately.
Try again.
I think the Rams are still going to be rolling, but definitely a hit to their offense for sure. And then somehow the Cowboys actually won a big game. A big game too. Division rival at Philadelphia. I thought they were going to get smoked in this game. Like coming off that last week, I was like, hey, this team is like a dumpster fire. Like I thought they were just donezo.
Yeah.
And then somehow they roll into Philadelphia and pull this one off. So I don't really understand this team.
They're so inconsistent. Like so inconsistent.
Yeah, the defense showed up in this one, but I just don't get the Cowboys. Yeah, I don't know what else to say there. Like I just really don't understand them. Just a weird, like I don't know. Another team that like Philadelphia is now like almost in panic. I think they're in panic mode now. 4-5, like
defending Super Bowl champs.
They're gonna have to go on an absolute tear to make the playoffs,
which is embarrassing.
And this is a Super Bowl hangover for sure. Yeah. I mean that happens to a lot of
people. It does happen a lot.
That's a very common thing.
Yeah.
Well, like that's like I'm sure we'll get into it, but like Chicago fired Coach Q. And like they're a team who went from winning 3 cups in 6 years to losing the first round of the playoffs 2 years in a row and then not even making playoffs.
But they've had a lot of roster issues. And
they've been constantly.
That's more of a management.
That's because they pay Taves and Kane way too much, and then they just like throw other people in there.
Yeah, they would sign him. Like Hosa was a part of that championship team too, but they had to get rid of him.
Yeah. They got rid of after their 2015 cup, they got rid of like 95% of their roster.
Yeah.
And like a lot of those guys have found their way back to Chicago, but like
who was the other big guy? Sharp. Patty Sharp,
yeah. Good old Patty Sharp.
Yeah. But yeah. Monday Night Football.
Oh, we're doing our bet for this week.
Oh. Yes, so last week me and Haley lost.
We did.
And I did win my bet. I got my 2, so I'm up $2 right now.
Yeah.
Can I make the first pick for this week?
Yes, you can, because you're the winner.
Wait, before we were talking about this, so before we do it this week, we decided that instead of money, we're going to make it so that the other person has to do something.
Okay, I like that.
Right, you were saying that.
That was I think we were saying that for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was for the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Super Bowl bet.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. I think
Okay, yeah. So Monday Night Football, the New York Football Giants at San Francisco. The Giants stink. There's no way they're winning this game. On the road, they're out west. San Francisco actually played a pretty good game last week. Kyle Shanahan seems to be just the quarterback whisperer. I don't really know. He just made it happen last week. I've got Cisco winning this one.
Yeah, me too. I mean, like, San Fran's 2-7. The Giants are 1-7. Like, it's not like two good teams are playing, but just in San Fran, the Giants are so bad. I'm gonna take San Fran.
I was just impressed with the way they played last week, but.
Well, it's no fun at this point, so
you're kind of obligated to.
I'm going to put my money behind Eli and the New York small people.
The small
because
people.
They're terrible.
I mean, like, but San Fran also played Oakland last week, so, like, is that really saying much?
No.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
I want to know, okay, Oakland scored 6 points this week. 3 last week. I think, how much the week before?
They're together. It's not a big deal.
They had a bye there. The week before that, I think they scored 3 total. Yeah. So in the last month, Oakland scored 12 points.
Ooh.
How do you feel about that?
Not very good.
I'm not going to respond. I'm just not going to say anything.
Big yikes.
I don't know. There's not too much going on there.
We don't have much to talk about Oakland. There's just really not anything.
Another team that got a much needed dub was the Green Bay Packers. They beat the Dolphins at home. I feel like that's like that's tough for the Dolphins to go on the road and get a win there. Like I wasn't really expecting that, but I mean like Green Bay's coming off back losses, so good for them to get that squeeze that win out at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up this week in football. We got our bet. We're very excited for 2 really bad teams to go at it tonight. Not really an exciting Monday night football match.
I don't know if I'll be watching.
I don't think so either. But yeah, so might as well move it on
NBA.
At this point to the NBA.
Or do you want to do the college football?
College football.
Yeah, I mean, like,
while we're on the football topic.
Nothing super exciting happened. Like, there was, like, I don't believe there was any really big upsets. Like,
the Tide continued to roll.
Yeah, they're for the first time.
Roll Tide, baby.
The first time in school history, they shut out 9 teams for 2 weeks in a row.
Roll Tide.
State beat Michigan by 20, which is good because they haven't won.
Yeah,
like
Michigan State's nothing. Roll Tide.
Michigan State.
Hot take.
Michigan State's like very inconsistent. I don't know, but yeah.
Isn't Michigan State like inherently inconsistent? Where they?
Well, the thing is, so like, Urban Meyer's only lost to 4 coaches in his time at, well, now it's like 5. I don't remember. We keep losing, so I can't keep track. But he's lost to less than 10 coaches in his time at Ohio State in like 6 years, and he's lost less than 10 games, and 2 of his losses come from Michigan State, and 2 of them are from Clemson, and then it's like Oklahoma, Purdue, Iowa, whatever. But 2 of them are from Michigan State. So, like, every year, especially the game was in East Lansing, and the weather was crap. But, yeah, Alabama and Clemson and Notre Dame.
Lansing is not a very nice town.
No.
I drove through Lansing this
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah, on the road. Coming back from Wisconsin.
How is Lansing? Where is Lansing?
It's in the middle of Michigan.
Yeah, it's just not like...
It's just sort of there.
It's just a town that's there.
But anyways.
But yeah, there was really no, like, I mean, Wake Forest upset North Carolina State.
I saw that.
Which was a big upset. Boise State upset Fresno State. But Boise State's, like, a good team, but they're in, like, the Mountain West Conference, so, like, who cares? Like,
because they're in Idaho.
Well, like, if you're not in a Power 5 conference, you're not, like, reputable, except for UCF apparently, but UCF also has not played a ranked team all year, and it drives me nuts that everyone's like, UCF doesn't lose. I'm like, they don't play anyone.
Hasn't Florida Gulf Coast been doing decently this year too?
I'm not sure.
Wasn't one or Southern Florida?
USF was ranked at one point, but they're not anymore.
Okay. I
lied about the big upsets. I totally forgot. Tennessee absolutely smacked Kentucky. It was 24-7. It was at Rocky Top, or I don't know what they call it. Something but Rocky Top. But yeah, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma won by 1 point. That was a really good game. Northwestern beat Iowa, so they won the Big Ten West, because like the Big Ten West is the conference that's like easy to win in the Big Ten, because the Big Ten East has Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, like. But yeah.
Whatever happened to the Texas Longhorns? Where have they been?
They're 19 right now. They moved
I feel like you used
15.
to hear more about them.
Well, because they're 7-3. Like they lost their home opener to Maryland, which is not a good team, and then they beat USC, TCU.
Maryland has disgusting
Oklahoma.
jerseys, though.
Yeah, they do.
They have a lot of drama. Their coach got fired.
Oh, really?
Same with Bobby Petrino of Louisville got fired.
Their gear is so nice. It's ridiculous.
College football, some programs have sick.
Oh, then you look at the Ducks, the Oregon Ducks.
Oh, they have a new uniform every
University
week.
of Oregon.
Because Nike's right down the street.
Yeah, but so I totally forgot about Tennessee, but other than that, there wasn't really any huge upsets. But yeah.
Very cool. Roll Tide as always, and we'll roll on to the NBA.
Rolling on. So, big news that everyone found out about. Jimmy Buckets traded to the Philadelphia 76ers.
They're going for it.
Him and Justin Patton to the 76ers for Dario Saric, Robert Covington, Jared Bayless, and a second-round pick. What are our thoughts on this trade?
Philly's going for it.
I love the trade for Philly.
Well, we talked a lot about Philly last year, too, with Embiid and everyone down
and
there.
Ben Simmons. Yeah, no, Philly's going for it. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I love this trade for Philly.
They might as well. From the East, you gotta go for it at this point. You're gonna face the same competition in the West no matter what, and you're not getting any of those guys over here anytime soon, so...
Exactly. I think, for Philly, they didn't have, the start they wanted to this season, and I feel like some people kind of wrote them off a little bit as not even a real contender in the East. People have been talking about how the Bucks are kind of coming alive this year.
Yeah.
With
and they've got Toronto, Milwaukee. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Milwaukee's 10-3. The Raps are 12-1.
And Philly kind of just fell out of that conversation a little bit.
The Raps
not too much.
Buzzing. The Raps
are buzzing. But now you add Jimmy Butler into that starting lineup, and now Philly's a real threat in the East for sure.
Yeah.
Love the trade for Philly. I think probably I love the trade the most for Jimmy Butler because he did not want to be in Minnesota.
He was so pissed off when
he was not loving the culture, team culture over there.
Yeah.
Obviously there's all that talk about last year, him getting upset with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, how they don't have that drive. They don't really want to win.
Yeah.
So I think now he's going to a team where he's got a real good shot and he's in a locker room that really wants to win now. Mm-hmm. And so I love this trade for them. I mean, they lose Dario. They lose a little depth with Saric and Robert Covington, but I think you've just added a star in this league.
Yeah. No, like I said, Philly's going for it. They're the East is so much harder to play in than the West, in my opinion. The West obviously has Golden State, but it's if you aren't on Golden State, you're you know what I mean.
Like I was saying before, the East is way more exciting to me this year than the West. Other than if you look at West, I think Golden State. And then you've got LeBron's Lakers are obviously a very exciting team to watch.
Yeah, but still.
And I mean, obviously there's some good teams out west, but I just really don't think that any of those teams is going to be able to beat Golden State in a playoff series.
But that's the thing. That's why it's not exciting.
And the Rockets are falling apart at the seams. I know it's early in the season, but to me, the West is very much decided, whereas the East is
you don't know who's going to win it.
It's going to be a shootout from a couple different teams.
The Eastern playoffs are going to be so fun to watch.
It looks like there's 4 teams right now that have a really good shot at winning the East, and I don't think anyone can really tell you with some definite certainty that any of those teams are going to win.
And the thing with these two, they've played less than 15 games. It's so early in the season.
Yeah, it is very early.
Playoffs aren't till May. You have no some teams are ahead right now. I'm a Boston fan and they keep losing. Really close games or they keep losing, and I'm look at your roster. You should be better than this.
And they will pick it up.
They will, but then there's the Raptors. I wouldn't have expected. I know they got Kawhi, but I wouldn't have expected them to go 12-1 at this point in the season.
Yeah,
that's insane to me, considering last year. I mean, they still did well last year, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And also the Cavs are now 1-11.
Jesus Christ.
without LeBron. So just wanted to throw that out there. They're stinking up the place too.
I think everyone expected that.
But I mean, yeah, that's a big buzzing news in the NBA right now. I'm very excited for, and I think like the one other thing I like about the trade too is it's so early in the season that like he has a chance to come in and like really get blended well into that.
For sure.
To that lineup. Whereas like if you get him at the trade deadline,
14 games in.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like if you get him at the trade deadline, then it's a little later in the season. I love this trade right now. Going for it. Philly, love it.
Yeah.
Boom.
I'm here for this.
The process, they're processing.
They are. Told you.
Are they almost
the Raptors
processed?
should be afraid.
Yeah. I like, to be honest, like, I don't like this trade from the perspective of a Raptors fan, but like it's a sick trade just for like a fan of basketball.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Raptors 12-1, rolling.
Yeah.
Rolling.
Yeah, they're doing incredible this year.
They're killing it. Loving it.
I told you that DeRozan Lowry combo just wasn't working anymore. Like it just.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No. That needed to change.
So like
I hated DeRozan and Lowry together, and honestly, I'm not a big DeRozan fan, so.
I just just like all Raptors fans were like so upset when that happened, and like DeRozan was like so like like he wasn't mad at the fans, but he was kind of like mad at Toronto's like management being like, why did you trade me? Like this is my city.
He needed to go. DeRozan literally did nothing for the Raptors. All he did was get into the first round of the playoffs.
Exactly. Like he wasn't taking them over the hump.
No.
Who was it that was it someone here or maybe it was someone from my high school that like once the trade happened DM'd DeRozan was like good riddance or something.
That's really funny.
Like that. He probably got a bunch of DMs.
I hated DeRozan honestly, and in the playoffs too. Like they'd throw him in.
Well, he's a no-show in the playoffs for like most of his career,
but
right?
he'd still be taking all the shots in the fucking playoffs. Or, excuse my language. Actually, I really do not like him, but he'd be taking like 75% of the shots in the fourth quarter for the Raptors and making probably under 30% of them. Like you can't be giving a guy with that percentage the ball.
No.
When you need to win games.
But yeah, Kawhi's definitely a like franchise changer in this.
100%.
Kawhi.
Because like we said it last year, like the Raptors have the best bench in the NBA.
Yeah. But
their starting lineup was what was failing them.
Yeah, and it wasn't in the regular season, but
in playoffs.
Once they got
but that's
to the
when
playoffs.
it matters. That's like the year the Cavs won the NBA title was the year that the Golden State Warriors got that like 73 win or whatever. I mean, it's like who cares about the regular season? Like who cares?
Yeah. I saw this really funny tweet like when Jimmy. I think it was like after Jimmy Butler got traded, but it was these pictures of Karl Anthony Towns like looking like he was crying while like playing basketball, and they're like, man, this guy doesn't even like basketball. Like no wonder Jimmy wanted out. And it was like literally him like getting covered. Someone's like covering him, and he's like little crying face. It was funny.
That is funny.
That's
NBA.
good.
But yeah, so. Shall we move it over to the NHL?
Sure.
National Hockey
The NHL. Is there any off-season news from the MLB or anything that we need to talk about, or soccer?
Well, I guess now
soccer.
MLB. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say the Battle of Manchester happened or whatever.
Oh, that's true,
called.
actually. Oh, and also, I guess we didn't really mention that Leicester City crash with the helicopter.
Yeah, that was really upsetting. Their owner died in the crash.
Oh, no.
I'm still unsure as to what happened there. Like, was he just trying to land at the stadium?
No, I read it. No, they were taking off from the stadium and to go
somewhere.
It was him, like two staff members, and like the pilots or whatever. And what happened? They believe I was reading about it last week. Is that so? For a helicopter, there's the main rotor, then there's a tail rotor, which prevents essentially the main rotor from turning the helicopter in like what they call a death spin, because the rotation of the rotor, even though it's lifting it up, will still turn the helicopter if it doesn't have something to counteract that. So the tail rotor, it counteracts that like rotational
the turning
motion. And apparently they think that the tail rotor failed, and when that happens when you're at low altitude, you don't have time as a helicopter pilot to shut off the engine and use like essentially like glide.
Oh dear.
So they just they
went into a death spin
and crashed.
Yikes. Yeah, no.
And apparently their goalkeeper was like running out, like trying to pull them out of the helicopter and stuff.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Like in like the fire.
Yeah. Poor Lester. You know what? Like, I mean, obviously that's sad for them. I saw they gave him a nice tribute.
Yeah.
But at least Leicester City won in his time as owner with 3,000 to 1 odds. So
that's awesome.
you know what? He's left a legacy on that club.
No,
They're not that good anymore, but they'll always have that.
It's true.
But yeah, Man City won. Man City's at the top of the Premier League standings. It's like them, Liverpool,
Manchester City,
Man United, but Jose Mourinho is just running that place into the ground. But they beat Juventus in Champions League.
They did, yeah. That was
Jose.
But yeah, so that's our soccer update.
There we go.
But yeah, so MLB, everyone's getting excited about free agency because like there's some big name free agents. We got Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Dallas Keuchel, Craig Kimbrell, Patrick Corbin. So like some big names are out there. We all know Clayton re-signed with his Dodgers, which I kind of like that, to be honest. I couldn't really imagine him in another uniform.
Yeah. I think he really wants to win also, like you said, like going to 2 World Series and not winning either. It's like that's what I was always hoping Kevin Durant would do, but then he just joined in at the end.
Exactly. And like I think what's exciting about this free agency too is like with Manny Machado, like because the Orioles were in such shambles, like he's gone. Like he's not going to be back there. There was rumors of him going to Miami actually, just because that's where he's from. Like not from Miami, but he's from Florida. But
Miami's so bad.
But like they really want him apparently. So that could be interesting. I don't think he'll go there. I think he's going to want to go to a contender. It's the same thing with Bryce Harper, right? And I think what's crazy now is like there's all these pieces of information coming out saying that like I think it was at the trade deadline the Astros tried trading for Bryce Harper, but like the management shut it down, and then they tried giving him an extension at the end of the season that was apparently like $300 million over 10 years, and he turned it down.
Harper did?
Yeah, so
Jesus.
like he's
adamant.
He's looking like he's maybe going to be going elsewhere, but I don't know. It's just a very, very exciting offseason. I can't wait to see where these guys land. Like, and it's kind of cool too because Bryce Harper got the cover of MLB The Show 19. Yeah. So like, it's gonna be like I guess him in his new uniform on the cover potentially if he leaves Washington. So that'll be pretty cool. I think it'd be awesome to see him go to another team. Praying it's not the Yankees because it could be, but
that'd be awesome.
That'd be what?
That would be awesome.
I
would love that. I would honestly love
Aaron
that.
Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Bryce Harper.
That would be ridiculous.
That'd be insane. I have a feeling the Yankees will get either one of Machado or Bryce Harper. I just don't think they're going to get both. But the thing with the Yankees...
I like that a lot, personally.
Oh, I like that a lot, too. The thing with the Yankees and Machado is, though, that Machado's come out and said that he wants to play shortstop next season. He doesn't want to play third base anymore. And the Yankees have got Gregorius, who's killing it. Like he's gross, right? Didi. So I don't know if you try to like move him over to second base. Like the Yankees have got some good depth in the infield, so I don't really know.
I think if Machado is on the radar for the Yankees, obviously you'd think that you would want to go to that organization. The Yankees got to say, look, we're picking you up if you're playing.
You want to slot him in at third base. That would make the most sense. That would just be insane if you went there. Yeah. They would have that'd be like a GM mode, like that'd be trades on easy glitch, something
fantasy
like that.
Draft and
just insane.
If the Yankees get Machado and they're not winning the World Series, I'm gonna be very angry.
Yeah, insane. But the other thing too was Joe Mauer, longtime Minnesota Twin, finally calls it a career. Huge career for him. 2009 AL MVP. Just an all-around great baseball player. He was like one of my favorite guys when I was growing up, learning about baseball and stuff like that. So
I didn't realize he was that old.
Big career for Joe, and 15 seasons, 6-time All-Star, 3 batting titles, Minnesota legend forever. Joe
What's
Mauer.
the risk of concussion he's saying there? Did he have concussion issues?
Maybe he did. I honestly don't even know towards the end of his career. Potentially, yeah. But yeah, because he kind of like his last game in Minnesota, like he was saying how he wasn't really sure if he was like gonna retire or not, but like just the way that last game like shook out, you could tell that he like was not coming back.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so
moving over to the Nihil.
So we're on day what of Willie Nylander?
A lot of days.
I can't even keep track anymore.
But apparently They're shopping him.
Yeah, I saw that. So they came out saying that they were asking some teams to present offers for Nylander, which I think, to be honest, like I have a
They
feeling
should have done that a while ago.
I have a feeling that's to try to put some pressure on his party to re-sign, because I have a feeling they don't really want to trade him. But like that, obviously, if you hear that they're shopping you, then that puts some pressure on him. But I mean, who knows, right? Like the Leafs tend to keep this kind of stuff like pretty in-house. Not a lot of information leaks out, so they could actually be like shopping him. You never really know, right?
Yeah, and at this point, it's coming down to the wire too, because we have 2 more weeks until
It's December 1st, right?
Yeah, December 1st. So we have 2 more weeks until he can't play anymore this season.
Oh, if somehow December 1st passes and they haven't traded him or re-signed him, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And he misses a whole season, that's a
really
nightmare.
bad.
That's like worst case Ontario.
Yeah, worst case Ontario.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've seen that, right?
Yes.
Trailer Park Boys?
Yes.
Worst case Ontario?
Yes.
But yeah, Nylander, if you're listening, please come home.
Please come home.
We miss you.
Honestly, I don't even care at this point. You know what? I think he can go.
To be honest, I think I love Nylander, but now that if you have Tavares, Matthews, Marner, like look at Pittsburgh, right? As long as they have Crosby, Malkin, they're fine, right?
We have 3.
So I think
We have
that
3, they have 2.
and I think
defense.
there's so many wingers coming up in this system, like it's ridiculous, right? So many guys are trying to get a shot.
He's a center though.
Well, he's a true center, but he's been playing the wing.
Yeah.
And I think he's too small to be like an NHL center, a good NHL center. You've got 2 of the best centers in the league on the same team, and then your third center is Kadri, who's like probably the best third line center in the league. Arguably, he's got to be up there. Like I don't know,
he's up there.
Like a true third line center, because he is a true third line center.
He's a true third liner for sure.
So, because like you couldn't say that he's better than either of those 2 guys ahead of him. So
no. But I'm talking about versus other teams, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, if they traded him, I think they could get a lot back for Nylander. It would have to be like, I think the way this goes down is like a sign and trade type agreement.
Yeah.
Probably to a team that, like, I think like Carolina would be a good destination, because they've got such a surplus of good young defensemen over there. So I think if you could somehow snag one of those guys, Carolina I think is a good option. Imagine out in the desert.
Here's a good question: how much do you think he's worth?
I think they could get a good.
How much do you think he's
right?
truly worth, though, as a player?
I think you could trade him and get a top 2 potential defenseman.
I'm saying dollar-wise per year.
Dollar-wise per year? Oh, I think he's worth $675 is the dollar amount I put
under
on.
7.
The reason why I say that
pisses me off is when people say that he's worth 8, because he's not worth 8.
I just think like if you have to look at like we've been saying this, right? You have to look at players who are comparable.
Yeah.
Pasternak got
that 61 points doesn't warrant you $8 million.
Yeah, Pasternak got what 6.25 or 6.5.
Yeah.
And then you adjust that for inflation. Like, I think like max he would get is $7 million, like maximum. I wouldn't give him a penny over 7.
I wouldn't give him anything close to 7. I would give him under 6 and I'd give him under 6 3/4 for sure.
Yeah, like I don't think. I think like like you were saying, like people saying he's worth $8 million, I think is like pretty ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think like if you look at the Leafs this year, right? Like who was Nylander playing with last year? He's playing on Matthews' wing. Now you look at Kapanen, who's playing on Matthews' wing. He's killing it this year, right? So if Nylander goes off by himself, is he going to be the same?
Yeah, let's go take a look at
producer.
What's going to happen if he comes back and how that's going to mess up the sort of the rhythm that they've started to build this year. Not that it's been consistent, but
yeah, I just really want this to be over, and we know what the outcome is, whether they trade him or they re-sign him. I just want something to happen.
Yeah,
it's kind of just like in the back of everyone's minds. I mean, the Leafs played Boston the other night and got like, pumped. Yeah, they got pumped. It was funny because they came off that game against New Jersey where they won 6-1, and everyone's like, "Oh, they pumped New Jersey," and then they got pretty much pumped, almost the exact same score the next night by Boston. But yeah, I mean, the Leafs obviously this year have been like a very competitive team, especially in the conference. So
Matthews should be back in 3 weeks. Is it now?
Yeah, I mean, like that's the other thing you have to remember, right? Is like we're doing this without Austin Matthews right now. Tavares has been picking up a lot of slack, so I think like if you can somehow turn this Nylander situation into something good, then I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah. Tonight, Chicago, Carolina. We were talking about Chicago earlier.
Oh yeah, Coach Q.
With, Coach Q being gone, and then the entire management issue.
Yeah, well, it sucks because, like, the issue with the Blackhawks is that they're overpaying for two players who, I mean, like, they're good players.
But I mean, if you look at, like, now, though, I feel like they're not really, I don't know, like, those contracts, I feel like were more of a cap strapping issue before. Because I think now the kind of pool is just run a little dry in regards to talent. I mean, obviously Kane and Taves aren't the same players that they were like a couple of years ago, but they're still really good, right?
No, they are good players, but I'm just saying like they're overpaid for, and especially because their entire team is built around them, and they can only pay everyone else like so little money, and nobody wants to play for that. Especially when they're a team that hasn't made play. And I know they're not the same team that won those 3 cups, but still, it's like. It sucks because whenever a team does poorly, management is the first to go. But it's like they're not the ones out on the ice playing.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just the business, though.
Yeah, I know.
Vancouver, New York tonight, too. Peterson's been just tearing it.
Yeah, jeez.
Peterson is absolutely disgusting.
They've got some real good young guys over there in Vancouver right now.
Yeah.
Like they got a scary group of young guys over there between Bo Horvat, Brock Besser, and now Elias Pettersson.
Yes.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
They're saying he's like the second coming of the city and something like that. So I don't know. He's
been really good.
He can shoot.
He can shoot. Yeah, he had that Wayne Gretzky slap shot from the top of the circle last week. But also against Buffalo, I don't know if you saw, like in close, literally three guys and just him. It was like 1-on-3 through the legs. He gets tripped up, draws a penalty. But if he didn't get tripped, that would have been a goal.
Yeah.
Like it would have been
he's
looking
unreal.
dangerous every
coming
time.
across the.
What was his
net.
thing about having like 10 goals in 10 games or something like that? He like.
Oh yeah, he was like I think he's like one of the youngest players.
To ever do so.
Still not liking these Winnipeg Jets new third jerseys. The like. You know the ones I'm talking about? These like powder blue ones.
Fashion take.
Not really.
Blue? Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just not really a fan of those.
I'm not a fan either.
They're wearing them a lot.
I haven't seen them.
Not really enjoying those.
These ones?
Yeah, I don't really like them.
No, I don't.
They look like a shinny jersey or like a practice jersey.
Did you see the jerseys that NHL 19 released?
Yeah, they were like
the digital 6.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool actually.
Toronto's was pretty cool because it's like the Team Canada.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It literally looks like those old Team Canada jerseys, just with the blue instead of the red.
And there was one other that I like Chicago's too because they threw in the feather colors. It's black.
Yeah,
it's like the Chicago black jersey, but they threw in for the stripes on
all the different
arms
colors,
and on the base. All the different colors from the
sweet.
feathers.
It was cool. I thought the Boston one looked really good too.
Yeah,
just
it was.
With the plain B. I thought it
wasn't
was cool.
against it. They released the Winter Classic jerseys as well.
I did like those too.
These are between Boston and Chicago.
Probably Chicago.
Yeah, it's Boston.
Chicago's always in a Winter Classic.
Chicago's Winter Classic jersey is just black and white. It's actually pretty cool.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
I know Chicago's literally been in the Winter Classic for the last
Chicago's been like a
8
million
years.
Yeah,
They always.
Well, no, they always have a Stadium Series game, but this is the Winter Classic.
They always
True,
have some outdoor.
But there was
I think like in Winter Classics though, I think they've like generally been in like probably 4 Winter Classics.
Yeah, I think last year was the first time in like 6 years they weren't. I'm just gonna look it up because literally they've been in so many.
Yeah, I do like those.
Well,
the black
has Columbus Dallas play tonight, which will be interesting.
Colombo.
They have the exact same record.
Oh really?
Yeah.
9-6-2. Colombo.
Yeah. Very interesting.
The bread man is doing pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Artemi.
Panarin.
And Nashville, Anaheim tonight. Nashville just continues to roll this year.
In the last 5 Winter Classics, Chicago's been in 3 of them.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh's been in 2, so I guess Pittsburgh's like right behind them in terms of being in the Winter Classic.
No, they probably had Stadium Series, but not the actual Winter Classic.
No, Pittsburgh was in 2 Winter Classics.
They were in one in 2008 and then one in 2011.
They played
but not recently. I'm talking about.
No, but I'm talking about like in the history of the Winter Classic.
Oh yeah. But even like the Bruins have been in 2, or they're going to play this year.
Classics was when Crosby got clipped.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, this one.
And the other one, he got like the shootout winner, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
against Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've been in 2.
Oh, it says, it has appearances right here. The Leafs are supposed to be in 2, but then the lockout canceled that.
Oh, yeah.
Good times.
I missed that first Toronto Winter Classic was so sick.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And then they basically had the other one last year.
The stadiums. I remember watching that game because they got smoked
Or
by
2
the
years
Caps.
ago.
Yeah, those white jerseys were gross, though.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the 100. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. The one where they beat Detroit and Matthews got the overtime winner. That was sick. Then they played.
They played the Caps
they
last
played the
year.
Caps
and
last year.
They sucked. It was like 5-1
they were
or
wearing
something.
the all white jerseys. Yeah.
I remember watching that game because that was the game I realized Freddie Anderson sucks.
I still am a Freddie Anderson. I still like him.
I don't know how I feel
never
about
will
Freddie
be.
Anderson. Sometimes I love him, sometimes I don't. Really mixed emotions.
I think
about that guy.
I think he's been good enough for them to win.
Yeah. No, he's been good enough for them to win, but
We'll see. It's going to be an interesting NHL season this year. I think they really need to figure out this Nylander situation though as soon as possible.
I do agree.
I mean, other than that, do you want to hit the three stars?
Yeah, sure. We can hit 3 stars.
Stars 1, 2, and 3 of this week.
Maybe we'll have to put our thinking caps on. I'm gonna keep talking to stall some time.
I have one. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Lead it off, Haley.
I don't think this year I've given my star to somebody from Ohio State. I'm about to.
I think you have.
Didn't we ban? Is the ban still on?
The ban was only on for a month last year, alright? But Drew Chrisman, the punter for Ohio State, had an amazing game on Saturday. Like 3 different times he punted so that Michigan was starting on the Michigan State was starting on the Michigan State 1 yard line. So like there was a touchdown on a fumble, there was a safety, like his punting was unreal. Like the reason we won by 20. So you know what? Punters make a difference.
Punters.
Punters are underrated.
Punters. My star of the week, Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger. He killed it against Carolina. We talked about that game earlier on the show. 5 TDs, no interceptions. That's like, you murdered them. And he got pulled out of the game early. That could have got even worse. 328 passing yards, 97 QBR. Ridiculous game for Big Ben. I think that's the first time I've ever given Big Ben a star, or anyone has. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've given Big Ben a star.
What an honor for him.
There you go, Ben. Mr. Burger.
Mr. Burger.
I'll give my star to Dubas and the management team of the Leafs because I appreciate them going out and shopping Nylander. It's been something that's been really pissing me off.
They're gonna get this done though. So, when they get it done, then I'm gonna give them a fat.
I appreciate them putting or tightening the leash a little bit, and
I think that's a power move
some
though.
pressure
That's
on
a
the
power
100% power move. Good for you guys. You're in control. Nylander needs to figure it out.
Something's got to happen.
So that's
hopefully we're closing in. I can smell something happening. A deal potentially. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up on this week's episode of the Sidelines podcast. Pretty exciting episode. We're looking forward to the SML social tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, we'll give you guys the rundown of that next week.
The stats from that one.
The stats. Yeah, we'll let you guys know how that goes. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Sidelines Sports Podcast.